Today we're going to be working with a number of partner agencies and exercising our response plan for various types of accidents or incidents that could occur at the airport. So today's event will be focused on a simulated airplane crash on the airfield. We can see we've got a device behind us that will help simulate a fire on board an airplane. We've got make-up bodies and debris and stuff scattered around on the ramp to give it a little bit of a challenge for our aircraft rescue firefighters to make their way to the simulated fire, as well as an opportunity for emergency responders to simulate their response to injuries on a number of individuals, so mass casualty type of environment where they have to triage, assess the patients, see who's needing to be transported right away, who might be able to be stabilized in place. And really it's an opportunity for each agency to set up their own objectives of what they would like to test, what they would like to accomplish for today, and an opportunity for all of us really to work together to see how our plans integrate with one another and how a response to an actual incident would play out. And it's an opportunity for us to do it in obviously a very safe and training environment and a learning type of situation. COVID-19 has really set a little bit of a damper on our exercise for today. Normally we would see hundreds of people out here participating. That's not safe and not appropriate for where we're at today with the pandemic. So we have simulated of lots of different things. So suitcases, people, things that you might normally see around an aircraft accident have been simulated, and everything has been scaled down a little bit. So we won't have quite as many responding agencies participating. We have simulated for some of that. But again, we have scaled down our exercise to kind of focus on what we want to accomplish for objectives, and that is initial response. So today's focus will be on that. If it was a much bigger exercise, it would probably go much longer, and we'd actually be transporting patients to hospitals. They'd be going through all of their check-in procedures. But again, in today's environment, we wouldn't put those people in those types of situations in hospitals today.
Today's exercise is actually regulated by the FAA. We need to do one every 3 years. But more importantly, we actually want to work with our mutual aid partners and practice a simulated plane crash. And that's very important for us to do and get together for this exercise. We're going to have a bunch of different people actually from the airport. We will have our own staff from police, fire, operations, communications, and maintenance, as well as working with Grand Rapids Fire, Cascade Fire, Kentwood Fire, Kent County Dispatch, as well as Kent County EMS, and that includes Life EMS as well as Rockford Ambulance. So we obviously are doing it for training purposes, so it's important that our partners get training out of this. We also want to make sure that we do better in the future. So after this, we get together and come up with an improvement plan and make sure that we move that forward into our emergency response. So the Michigan Firefighter Training Council actually gave us a grant to pay for the simulator and the propane to actually run it. So we're very thankful for them for helping us out.
Well, here's the deal. We come to places like Gerald Ford, this airport, to test their people, but it's more than that. It's about life safety issues. It's about taking the best out of people, right? And it's allowing these firefighters who don't get seen every day to be shown, or to show the people of this community what they can do. In this simulation today, what happened is we gave them some victims that you would normally have in a major incident. We gave them fire around it, and we see how they tactically respond to it. It's amazing. Most people don't realize that airports have firefighters. They don't realize, they just think that the city comes in. If we depended on the city, which we still do, if we depended on them solely, it would be way too long. Aviation fuels burn so rapidly. So what a company like mine does is they come in, they build a simulation that's close to what they might see. Of course, we can never make it perfect. We can't. But firefighting isn't perfect. And what we do at the end of the day is we try to test them within their realm, within the equipment they have and the personnel, and we try to make them do successful things. It's not about tearing people down, it's about building them up. Well, actually, they did great. I walked up to them afterwards and I said the transitions, everything were good. The way you mitigate a scene, listen, on airport grounds, because of the fuels, seconds matter. So you can't have anybody lollygagging. They all have to work as a team. And if they work as a team, people actually live. Airplanes are incredibly survivable when they crash. We just need good people to help when they do.
Today we were practicing for our FAA full-scale exercise that we have to do every 3 years. And part of that requirement is that we practice what we have in play. We have the airport emergency plan, and we have to include all of our mutual aid and automatic aid to come out and assist with our operations. Plus it tests our plan, the plan that we look at every 12 months. And when we come out here today and did our practice, we were practicing 3 different areas, our core capabilities. One is testing our communication, our unified command, and then our overall operations with the fire ground. So we were looking at those 3 areas based on the FEMA H-seat process, which is this exercise planning process. And as far as today, we went through and worked on all of those 3 areas, and then, you know, just put it to play. So we had roughly 61 victims out here today, plus our department, along with all the other departments. And it's just testing the emergency plan, making sure what we've put in play is what we follow. And then afterwards, we evaluate it, and then we make the improvements for the next time that we do this. We did actually a very good job. We have a few areas, just like anything, to work on. Anytime you do an exercise, that's the whole point of it, is to get better at what we do. So we have a couple areas of improvement to work on, but overall, it went just as it should be. And we were able to put the fire out, get our victims taken care of, triaged, transported, and it went off just as expected.
These kinds of things are important. There's a lot of logistics that go involved into it. There's a lot of entities. So for once every 3 years to get an opportunity to have us all come together and practice and train on a real event is important, especially being a low frequency, high risk event like a plane crash. You need a lot of hands on deck. And so it's an opportunity for us to really kind of evaluate where we're at and then maybe where we need to train on in the future. So a lot of people don't realize how much goes into something like this, even something as simple as radio frequencies. You know, it's not often that fire departments talk on the radio with police departments and airport tower and dispatch and command staff. And so we were able to integrate a unified command today, which was important. That's something that it's good to practice on, but to get everybody on the same frequency and to be able to operate, especially with the ambulance services and trying to get medical triage, it's good to get everybody integrated together and get that kind of practice out of the way.
You end up learning a lot from the training exercises, because even as little as how do we get water? Where's the closest hydrant? We're used to in City of Kentwood we have hydrants all over the place, but then to get to the airfield where we don't spend a lot of time, we have to go find the closest fire hydrant to make connections. So there's a lot of little things that go with that. And when you mix everybody together, everybody's got a little bit different responses and different equipment that respond here. And it's a good time to test what we're capable of doing together, as all of our equipment's connected together, trying to supply water to airport trucks and things like that. We had a great incident command post set up this time. All the disciplines come together, airport police and fire and Kentwood and Cascade, and everybody put someone in the ring there, and so we're able to do a much better incident management with all the disciplines working together.